Hey everyone, this is Movies Please. Spike Lee has a new film called The Five Bloods. It's earning excellent reviews. A lot of folks think it's now the Oscar frontrunner. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. So of course I'm going to review a Spike Lee movie from 30 years ago instead. I'm talking about the movie Malcolm X. Now actually what inspired this review was my viewing of Selma recently. That movie features a scene with Malcolm X, and it has a scene in which Martin Luther King Jr. expresses some thoughts about him. It seems they always didn't have a mutual, what you might say, respect for each other. And that scene made me think about Spike Lee's Malcolm X, a movie I've never seen, always wanted to. And thus I said, well, now's the time. Let's, watch it, see what I think of it. The movie portrays pretty much the entire life of Malcolm X. It's a sprawling 3-hour epic. And let me tell you, studios really don't make them like this anymore. The movie made about $48 million at the domestic box office, which is about $88 million today. And it came at a time when long biographical pics were more common. Even on the small screen, major networks would divide a 3 to 4 hour long biopic across 2 nights. It was a major event back then. And in a way, Spike Lee's Malcolm X almost feels like one of those 2-night TV movie epics. And I'm not saying in scope now. I don't mean that as an insult. This movie has a considerable budget, and it shows. But just in the fact that the movie feels like 2 parts. In the first half, we see Malcolm X as a young man. He's going to big dances, cooperating an illegal numbers racket, getting arrested. And then we see him as a Muslim preacher and civil rights activist. And let me tell you, I don't know how they made Denzel, if they made Denzel look younger in the first half or older in the second half, but it is amazing the noticeable way he ages in the role. This is way before CGI de-aging, and he does fantastic here. Deservedly nominated for an Oscar. Another outstanding performance is Al Freeman Jr. as Elijah Muhammad. At first I thought they were using actual real-life footage of the real person. And Freeman Jr., he really should have been nominated for an Oscar. I know film critic Gene Siskel, his theory was that Freeman was so good, maybe voters didn't realize that was not the actual Elijah Muhammad. As for pros and cons, I felt like the first part of the movie had some editing that was a little bit unclear at times. It shifts from what was then present day to Malcolm X's childhood to even inside Malcolm X's mind a couple of times. And I understand that Spike Lee style. During those moments, you have to respect the movie for just moving ahead and expecting you to keep up with it. The second half of the movie is more, I guess you might say, straightforward, as we've seen Malcolm X's rise to power in his trip to Egypt, which was filmed impressively on location. That said, one of the main supporting characters of this movie was a man named Brother Barnes, who helped Malcolm Little become Malcolm X. He plays a major role here. So I was disappointed to learn that there was no Brother Barnes in real life. The character is a combination of several people who had an impact on Malcolm X's life. And it's understandable why they made that creative choice, given they didn't want the movie to be even longer and have, 20 more supporting characters. Still, I'm not a huge fan when biopics make up characters that have such a large impact on the main character's life. Fortunately, those negatives I just mentioned are very small compared to the movie as a whole. If you like Spike Lee movies and you don't mind a biopic that's over 3 hours, I think Malcolm X is worth your time as well. I give it 3 out of 4 stars. If you enjoyed this review, please click like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope to see you next time. This has been Movies Please.